I work for a company, PetroVR. We have a product for the oil and gas industry. The company is an American company based in Houston, Texas, where all the oil business are located. All the development of that product, and the testing, the help desk, and all the services we provide internally and to our customers are based here in Argentina, where we have a small team that takes care of all the details. The people at Houston are mostly oil engineers that provide consulting services that are oriented toward selling the product. Okay, so we have some on-site coaches in some of our clients, and our clients are typically the largest oil companies in the world. So we don't have clients in South America, for instance. We have in Europe, Asia, I don't know, Middle East, the US, etc. So that is not to impress you, because those companies are pretty big, but we are a medium-sized company. But just to try to tell you about, there is like a very clear division in our company. So like all the business, everything that has to do with sales, with contacting clients, market, etc., is based in Houston, and everything that is technical is based in Argentina. This operation has allowed us to work with a lot of freedom, and don't be worried about the business part of this equation, and has provided the Houston team to not be worried about the technology and how the product is developed, etc. So I will show you just some overview of the teams we have here in Argentina, because I think it's interesting. We are not hiring, actually, but I think it's interesting to understand how all the things you have to do in order to create a product that can be sold and used. It's not just the product. The product is the most important part of all of this. There are many, many things you have to do. This is something we learned by just starting this project. By the way, we started in Argentina this project 14 years ago. So we started just as programmers. So we learned in the process how to build a company. So these are like the departments we have. We have a development department that is 8 small talkers. Everything is small talk, 100%. Okay. That PetroVR is the product we have, and the dialect we use is Be Smalltalk. It's also a product we built, and so we have the development team is in charge of this like 2 parts. We spend most of the time in PetroVR and use part of our spare time in Be Smalltalk. So to give you an idea of the size of the system, it's not just the product, it's everything, including the Be Smalltalk, the dialect. This is the number of classes, this is the number of lines of code, and this is the number of unit tests. Okay? The product is pretty sophisticated in terms not of the amount of code, or classes, or methods, or those metrics, but in terms of functionality, and in terms of all the disciplines this product impacts. It's a simulation software for the entire business of planning oil and gas projects that will last for, I don't know, are meant to last for the next 5 decades. So imagine you have to somehow plan how the project, a big project with billions of dollars of budget, will have to be planned for the next 5 decades. These have a lot of uncertainties, so we have a lot of probabilities and all sorts of things relating to statistics, learning curves, and things that have to be with financial analysis, etc. Engineering, of course, and all the technologies that the industry uses, which change all the time and have an impact on our product. So we had to create many things. TP is a product we use, is like our ticket system, so we can take care of all the requests we have. But so we have to create many workflows, and we have to create programming rules to have a consistent system, because the system is 20 years old and is only 8 programmers, so must to be consistent. And so we have to pay a lot of attention to our metrics. We have to continuously integrate all the contributions, and we have to be very careful on the the frameworks and the workflows we use and follow. And so the product itself is, as I said, a simulation that has a lot of things. Sorry, I won't name them all, but it's impossible. It has many things, because there are problems that have to do with cost, with scheduling activities that depend one on the other, dependencies, conditional logic, all of these with probabilities, because everything is uncertain, and you have to run the simulation, make your wells produce, and the facilities to transform the crude oil into subproducts, and keep all those big scenarios running. So there are many what-if cases. There are lots of problems of visualization with graphics, portfolios, etc. And so we provide Monte Carlo analysis. MCMC is Monte Carlo with multi-core, so it's parallel processing of multiple random scenarios. We pay a lot of attention to units, because there are all sorts of units. So, for instance, most of the unit framework assume that you have like one kind of unit, but in the oil industry they have like feet and meters, which belong to different system units. We have lots of validations, and we verify the user changes for doing all sorts of things. So, for instance, our validation framework has 1,500 validation rules, which capture the basic rules of every model. So we validate every model the users build all the time, following these 1,500 validations. This smalltalk, as I said, is a work in progress that is a Windows, for now is a Windows 32-bit smalltalk meant to have no virtual machine. It's all smalltalk and will become eventually open source. We started this just for learning how to build a virtual machine, so we said let's build it in smalltalk and for documentation, and the documentation happened to run, so we get rid of the virtual machine. We have one of the teams is just 2 people, is the design team. The design team is the team that captures which new capabilities we need for this release. We have one major release every year. So every year we produce about 30 and 40 new major capabilities. This is about 1,000 chain sets, okay? These are the ones that we can announce because it makes sense to the user. So these guys pay a lot of attention, the design team, to usability and expressiveness, generality, etc. So very abstract concepts to make sense of all the system and the different disciplines the system integrates, like geologists, cost engineers, drilling engineers, economists, you name them, mathematicians. So there are a lot of things that we have take care of, but we focus as developers in coherence, simplicity, intuitiveness, all these things that allow us to understand the software. So we are like 8 programmers, and I would say 5 of them understand all the source code. Everything, from the Smalltalk all the way up to the product. That is very important because we know what we are doing. Well, other team, 3 people, give support internally and to our customers. So they provide a lot of help through help desk and education programs. They have to set expectations. They have to interpret what our users from different continents are asking us or are requesting us. So they provide how-to answers to questions, deal with licenses, all sorts of usability. They public, I think, once every 2 weeks, update packs to keep the product updated, etc., etc. We have 3 people plus an external team that take care of all the knowledge we manage, which is huge. So the product has a manual. We also have written about 400 documents, technical documents, that link the domain with the software. We contribute from time to time to a blog, have about this number of entries, and we produce our videos. We have actors and actresses and professional speakers and creative people and filmmakers, etc. We also review the documentation we produce, have a library, many things. So some numbers. This is like the help. The help is not push delete if you want to delete this. It's a conceptual help, okay, with many cross references and conceptual topics. It's a book. Actually, it's the size of the novel Oliver Twist by Charles Dickens. So it's a pretty large book. It has many illustrations also. So we have a mathematician team, 3 people there. It's divided in one person, Graciela, that is the mathematician, the pure mathematician that knows the theory or learns the theory as we ask them. We have Javier, who knows a lot about how to use mathematics, more an applied mathematician. And we have myself, who used to be a mathematician years ago, so I'm the guy that makes sense of what they are talking about and try to adopt this. So I submit to the design team for them to decide whether to include a new crazy feature from the mathematicians or wait a little bit longer. And we have some interface with scientific research in mathematics also. Testing is provided by Pragma, a company that is very well known here. So it's an independent. They have about, I think, 4 testers. They are professional testers. They plan what they are going to test. They test the software all the time, every day. So that's what they do, and they plan, report, and do all sorts of things that testers do, and report us in our ticket system. To give you an idea, they have at this moment 50,000 functional tests, meaning they have created 50,000 times a test. They have run it, and they run it again, not all of them, but with some criterion from time to time for regression. We also have a small research department, because having a Smalltalk with no VM requires research. We always present talks about the progress we make here, and so you can go to those presentations in the YouTube or in the conference like this one. What else? Well, we have the internet team. They are in charge of our website, but also of all social media, and they are like the youngest team in the company. So they are encouraged to let the people believe that we are young and modern and all those things. They are doing great, except when I show up. Well, that's your opinion. Okay, so they do everything. For instance, this presentation is by them. Yeah. So we have, of course, we don't. All our teams are small, like 2 people, 3 people there, 8 programmers, etc., 4 testers. But if you put all the pieces together, it's a lot of people, and not everybody is based in Buenos Aires. We actually are in Ezeiza, but we have people in in Córdoba, in Neuquén, in Scotland. Recently, we brought a French programmer recently who's moved to Buenos Aires. We try to be as international as possible and be multicultural because our clients are that way. So we have psychologists that take care of us as persons. So it's not only interviews and problems and solutions, it's also recreation and excursions and celebrations and all those things that keep us working as crazy while we think we are having fun. We have one guy in the IT department, you can imagine that, and we have also an administrative team, is basically an accountant with their team and a lawyer just in case. We have, I'm not going into detail here because there is no time, but we try to keep in touch with the world, with our communities, from the oil industry, but also mainly from the Smalltalk communities, other companies doing Smalltalk, the FAST Foundation and ISAG and all the things that have to do with Smalltalk in the world and allow us to participate or help. We are also in the Agile community trying to participate there. So yes, this is everything I had to show. This is like the thing we have created here in Argentina. You now understand us much better than our partners in the US.
2 minutes for questions.
Okay.
Yes. You said that you don't do business in South America.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a personal decision?
No, because the problem is that the sales process in this market takes a lot of resources. It's very expensive and takes like 1 year, 2 years, sometimes even 3 years, because the biggest companies are this software makes sense for them essentially. So it would be too costly for a company of our size to have more people with that super high level of understanding to have these conversations with the companies. So we don't have that many. The few ones we have, they are based on London, on Paris, on the US, the places where we can take the most advantage of the knowledge and presence and talent.
So, let me know if I got the numbers wrong. As you mentioned, you have a quite impressive QA plan. You mentioned 50,000 cases. But on the other hand, I think you mentioned you have 16,000 cases?
No, 12,000.
It seems like quite a big test for the size of the system and how big the product is. So I was wondering how do you manage the automated tests on your side?
Yes, I would say that our unit test coverage is pretty good. but we concentrate in testing things that are not trivial. Of course, we also build this Smalltalk, so we have to test that if you set a variable, an instance variable with a variable, you will read that. But apart from those, we try to test things that make a lot of sense to our system, and the coverage is very good, both in the model and in the GUI. But anyhow, it doesn't matter. If we had 50,000 unit tests, we still would need professional testers. So professional testers are required. You must have them, not just because they find problems with the software, because they create an interesting feedback. The loop, the conversation, the discussion starts with some stupid thing and ends up with a very interesting insight about many other things. So it's like they are our preferred users. Okay, thank you.